Well, just up against a bit of a challenge. I'm not sure if I talked to you about it earlier, but I was dealing with the passenger side, right side wheel well, and excuse me, how I have it all now spotted back in the weld seam that I had to replace and make out references for the splash pad. And I talked also all about the clearance for the front fender mounts. I'll straighten that out when the fenders are all ready to go on. I've got the welds all set along the firewall for this wheel well. Drill bit. It's a 1/8. I use the 1/8 pretty much everywhere. Just started for the Clecos, but I've got the weld line set up. You can see the little shines, little blues. I had to fill that one. These ones come up because I welded it from the wheel well, or the firewall forward. And that's all fixed down right into here now. I put the little web in down here to stiffen this. This is all finished up now. But I've moved over to the driver's side. So the driver's side, I think you can probably remember earlier on, I made this new stiffener right in here, and it's actually 3 pieces. There's the top cap, the triangular stiffener, and there's a rib that goes down right in here. So I brought the wheel well. This is from another car, and I found out something. They were talking about the wheel well earlier being short for the 2-carb. The later TR6s had the full indentation for the wheel well. Anyway, on this side, right down in here, I've now got the wheel well fixed in. So this jack I've got right in here, actually I've used it to force this fender liner, or left vertical bulkhead, to force it out into the wheel well, because now I've got to work out a way, but I've got it drawn right back along here to the firewall, along the firewall and wheel housing mount. There's a mark right there. That's a cutout I've got to make for that baffle plate that goes in here. This one here is clear. I've just got to do some peening and get this area right in here drawn tight. I had to trim off this new, other wheel well. I had to draw, probably about 3/16 of an inch on that curvature down, just to allow this new bulkhead to fit. So it's good all around, and just a whole lot of C-clamps and whatnot. So I can get this drawn down. Now what I've got to do, once I'm really decided on this layout and the setup, I'll take this piece back off. I'll buff all the primer and paint off all the joint points. I'll spray on some zinc base primer, and then I can go and I can do the spot welds all along here, down here, down here, down here, as far as I can reach up over here, and then all along. And what I can't spot weld, I'll come back later and I'll do a quick MIG. But I've got to do some peening right in here to get that. I've got a real light gap in there. So I'll just peen that in, or draw the wheel well back out, just to make sure that that's all nice and tight, so that eventually when I go and do the big 10 tubes of caulking to do the final seal, it'll fill it up. I had to, you can see right down in here, I've got the spot welds all down in, along, around here. I was able to reach with my spot welder. I've got about 25 or 30 in there. And here's a stiffener bracket. This stiffener bracket's the same one as over there, but that one's an original right in here. But this stiffener bracket, and the only way I can get this to properly fucking bond is to give it a MIG. I'll go later on and I'll pencil grind them down just to make so they're not quite as obvious. I might actually go and weld again and just fill the gaps, just to give it a bit of a look. And that's where we're at. I checked out my overall length, and I'm about a 1/8 of an inch difference in overall length. It's not that actually that big a profound difference. I was checking this front chin. I'm going to take this and I'll break the welds all along here, and then on the other side the same. You can see where it's been patched in the past. Somebody's welded up quite nicely actually. But I'll have to take this panel, then I'll cut the welds all in around here and on the other side, so this chin or face, whatever you want to call it, can now fit on and get mounted up to this. I'll have to make a couple new of these triangular panels so I can get my welds along here and on the other side, as well as on the fender wells down in along here, and I can get a spot around here and here and here as it all goes together. But I'll have to grind all the face off of that. I can put the zinc base in there and then weld afterwards. You can see just how many hundreds of these little spots are. These are the little drilling out of the old spot welds, and then grind them down, then grind the surface down to clean, and there's a new one, a new one, a new one, and a new one. It's really tough to get them all together, but the other side shall look the same. And then when it's all finished up, then the intricate cleaning and micro buffing almost. You've got to go over all of this surface and sand it and buff it so that it's ready for a new paint surface, so it almost looks brand new. All of this is clean, but it's got a few coats of paint on it, but that's where we'll be at.